Now, another important function and powerful feature in Power Query is the ability to append. If you've got data in separate tables and you want to vertically combine all that data into one table, so if you had one table with 50 rows, one table with 100 rows, and one table with 200 rows, you want to run an append query, and you'll end up with sort of like 350 rows in one table. So I want to demonstrate how you run an append query. First of all, I'm going to click on the customers table and I want to make a duplicate of this. So I'm going to go Control C, Control V. I then want to rename it, so I'll click it, press F2 and call it customers data. I have an employees table and a suppliers table. Let's go with suppliers first. Control C, Control V, and I want to press F2 and call this suppliers data. There's employees data. I'll just drag that. Oh no, I will. I'll drag that down and I'll use that one. Okay, so here are my three tables. Let's start with the customers data. These three tables have to be the same layout and have the same column headings. So in the customers data query, I want ID, I want company, I want contact, but I don't want title. In fact, I don't want any of these until phone. So I'm going to shift click country and press the delete key to delete those columns. And I don't want any columns after phone, so I'll choose those two columns and delete those as well. So in my customers data, I've got ID, company, contact, and phone. And those, this one though, I want to call it name. So I'm going to click that, press F2 and call that name. Now my other two data queries have to look the exact same layout. So if I go to suppliers, I've got supplier ID. Okay, so I need to rename that ID. This one here needs to be renamed company. This one here has to be renamed name. And then all I want is phone. So any other columns, I'm going to delete. Okay, so that's the suppliers done. Customers is done, suppliers done. Now the employees. The employees, what I'm going to do is click on my steps and find the point at which I merge the full name. At this point here, I've got my first name and last name separated. So I want to, therefore, delete that step, delete that, delete that, delete, delete, and delete the last two. So that takes me to this back at this point in time. This column I want to keep, so I'll rename that ID. These two I want to merge, first name, last name. So I'm going to drag last name after first name. I'm going to click this column, merge these two by going to transform, merge columns, put a space between them, and just call it name. And OK. So I've got my ID, I've got my name, title I don't need, so I don't need any of those. In fact, don't need any of those, so delete. Don't need any of these, delete. This I'm going to call phone. And I need company, which I will reinstate by creating add column, custom column, calling it company. And the company name is Northwind, double quote, Northwind. And OK. And then drag company so it's there. So all four of these have got ID as the first column, company should be the second column, and name is the third column, and phone is the fourth. All three of them are the same now. So now I can do a query that is an append query. So on the Home tab, I'm choosing append query here, and I'll hit the drop down, and I want to append into a new query. So I'm going to go as new. immediately it will ask me if I've got 2 or more tables. I've actually got 3, so I'm going for this option. It's picked up customers data, which I'm okay with, but I could delete that if I wanted to. But at the bottom here, we do need to add customers, suppliers, and employees. When I go OK, it'll basically append all the data in those 3 separate queries into one new query called append 1, and it will have all of those rows. So customers, when I look at that had 91, suppliers had 29, and employees had 9. And so when I go to append, that has 129. That is the addition of all those data. And as I scroll down, I can see there's some, and there's some more, and then there's the last group that were from Northwind. All right, so that's what they call an append query. And am I going to name that? Yes, I am. I'm going to call that master list. I'll click here, press F2 and master list, enter.